It's midnight and you're tuned in to Nightline with me, Liyana Hassanel. The top stories. Malaysia issues urgent call to world leaders to end Israeli atrocities in Gaza. And full implementation of 1,700 ringgit minimum wage to take effect August 1st. Good morning. Malaysia has issued an urgent call to all world leaders to act swiftly and decisively to end the ongoing atrocities committed by the Israeli regime in Gaza. In a special message, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim stressed the immediate need to halt the killing and bombing of Palestinians on humanitarian grounds. In a video clip posted on his Facebook page, Anwar reaffirmed Malaysia's unwavering support for the Palestinian people. He also emphasized that Malaysia is ready to work with any country to bring relief and help to end the suffering in Gaza.
Entire families are being murdered. Children, even babies, have been killed. Others are wasting away from hunger. This appalling disregard for human life and dignity must end, for it is a violation of the most basic moral code.
Anwar also urged all parties, including the United States, which holds influence over Israel, to have the courage to condemn the tyranny of the regime.
I especially appeal to respected United States President Donald Trump to use that influence to press for an immediate end to the killing, stop the indiscriminate bombings, and ensure that humanitarian aid reaches those in need without obstruction.
Over in Gaza, at least 72 Palestinians were killed by Zionist gunfire and military strikes in the past 24 hours. In its latest assault, Israeli airstrikes on the Al-Shati camp west of Gaza City killed at least 13 people and injured more than 50. 2 other people were killed in Deir al-Balah, where the Zionist military announced plans to expand its ground operations after ordering the evacuation of much of the area. The attacks occurred amid reports that at least 21 children had died from malnutrition and starvation across the Palestinian territory over the past 72 hours. Meanwhile, the foreign ministries of 25 countries, along with the European Union Commissioner, have called for an immediate end to the war, stating that the suffering in Gaza has reached new depths. At the Dewan Rakyat, Anwar said despite concerted efforts with Egypt, Qatar and Jordan, Malaysia's humanitarian aid to Gaza remains blocked by Israel. Worse still, the blockade has caused some of the goods and supplies in hundreds of aid trucks to be damaged or destroyed, severely affecting vital relief efforts.
Ini kita sedang hadapi satu negara yang separuh kurang siuman dan ganasnya sampai tidak peduli melihat anak-anak bayi mati dan terkorban dan kelaparan. Itu tidak mengesankan. Maknanya hilang, nilai kemanusiaan hilang, dan kita telah dedahkan hipokrisi, ya, kemunafikan beberapa negara barat.
Anwar added that Malaysia still has the financial means and necessary supplies ready to be channeled to Gaza. These efforts will be stepped up as soon as access routes are opened. Anwar also stated that Malaysia is facing heightened scrutiny over its firm stance on Middle East tensions and global affairs. He revealed that the country's outspoken position on issues such as Palestine has drawn the attention of Mossad operatives and made it a target for arms and drug smuggling networks.
Malaysia, oleh kerana mungkin suara kita ataupun pendirian kita telah menjadi medan penyeludupan senjata, dadah, dan dalam kes ini agen-agen Mossad. Dari segi taklimat terbaru yang diberi oleh Badan Perisikan Malaysia, memang mereka ambil berat betul soal ini, terutama setelah terbukti bukan saja kehadiran mereka, tapi menggunakan pasangan suami isteri Melayu sebagai sama ada ejen ataupun yang bekerjasama dengan Mossad.
Speaking during the Prime Minister's question time session in the Dewan Rakyat, Anwar said that the Home Ministry has taken further measures and is actively working to identify threats and strengthen the country's security capabilities. He also stressed that ongoing tariff negotiations with Washington do not affect Malaysia's stance on Palestine or its relations with Iran. Commenting on the 25% import tariff imposed by the United States on Malaysia, the Prime Minister explained that the rate is lower compared to those imposed on Vietnam, Cambodia and Thailand. He added negotiations with Washington are still ongoing, and Malaysia has until August 1st to seek a diplomatic resolution. A key focus of the talks is the electrical and electronic sector, including semiconductors, which account for a significant portion of Malaysia's exports to the US. The implementation of the 1,700 ringgit minimum wage, effective August 1st, will apply to all employers nationwide, regardless of the number of employees they have. The new rate will also be applicable to all foreign workers and apprenticeship contract workers, excluding domestic helpers. In a statement on Tuesday, the Human Resources Ministry said that starting from the effective date, all employers must comply with the minimum monthly wage order without exception. This includes employers with fewer than 5 workers who were previously granted a 6-month deferment period. Non-compliance with the order will constitute an offence under the National Wages Consultative Council Act 2011. Those found guilty can be fined up to 10,000 ringgit per employee, with an additional 1,000 ringgit penalty for each day the offence continues after conviction. Repeat offenders face fines of up to 20,000 ringgit or a maximum 5-year jail term. Meanwhile, the Malaysian Employers Federation, MEF, welcomes the government's decision to proceed with the full implementation of the minimum wage increase. However, MEF advisor Datuk Shamsuddin Bardan believes that the government must take steps to ensure that the move does not burden and cripple small companies and businesses.
Alternatively, yes, the company can be asked to implement the 1,700 on 1st August, but these companies, the small-time employers, should be given subsidy by the government so that for the time being, when things are not working that well, then these companies are given some kind of a breather for them to actually be able to absorb the costs for the time being.
Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim will announce the details of a promised gesture of appreciation for the people on Wednesday. The Prime Minister stated that the announcement reflects a shared commitment to building a more equitable and prosperous future. Since July 14th, a poster uploaded on Anwar's official Facebook account has sparked various questions and speculation. It mentions an extraordinary appreciation for the people, but provides no further details. At an event in Bukit Mertajam, Pulau Pinang last Saturday, the Prime Minister confirmed that the extraordinary appreciation for the people referred to the government's renewed efforts to ease the rising cost of living. He also urged the public to await the surprise announcement he is set to make.
Mereka umumkan, pengumuman itu ya mesti besarlah sikit untuk tangani masalah yang dihadapi. Siap saja, mungkin Isnin, Selasa, atau bagilah 2-3 hari, saya akan rasa biar mantap betul, saya umumlah. Doa bagi umat yang elok-elok lah.
On Tuesday, via a Facebook post, Anwar announced that the promised appreciation for the people will be revealed on Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. He stated that it is a sign of the Madani government's concern for the people, who have steadfastly supported every step of the reform process. He also expressed hope that the announcement will benefit the majority of Malaysians. Student admissions to Mara Junior Science Colleges, MRSM, fully residential schools, SBP, and other specialized schools will be streamlined through a unified application system under the Education Ministry starting next year. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said the move reflects the government's commitment to ensuring a more organized, focused, and equitable education system. Speaking at a media conference on Tuesday, Zahid said the streamlining aims to prevent overlapping offers and ensure that each placement is filled by genuinely qualified students. Previously, some students received multiple offers, resulting in unfilled vacancies when offers were declined, ultimately denying opportunities to other deserving candidates.
Melalui sistem tunggal ini, pengagihan tempat akan menjadi lebih adil dan inklusif, khususnya untuk para pelajar cemerlang, terutamanya daripada luar bandar dan keluarga berpendapatan rendah, selari dengan dasar keutamaan kepada menyantuni keperluan golongan B40.
Zahid also emphasized that the existing policy will be maintained, with 60% of student intake allocated to B40 families. Priority will also be given to applicants from rural areas and urban poor communities. There is an urgent need to restructure agencies involved in plastic waste management in Malaysia. Acting Natural Resources and Environmental Sustainability Minister Datuk Sri Johari Abdul Ghani said 4 different agencies are currently involved with different jurisdictions. According to Johari, these 4 key agencies will cooperate to enhance coordination, accountability and enforcement.
Kita satu pihak. Kemudian kita ada Jabatan Sisa Pengurusan Pekerja. Kemudian kita ada MITI yang mengeluarkan COA untuk import waste plastik ini. Kemudian kita ada Custom di bawah MOF. Jadi empat-empat ini mempunyai bidang kuasa yang sangat berbeza. Tetapi kalau kita nak dapat effective enforcement, empat-empat ni kena duduk satu meja. Itulah cadangan yang saya buat kepada Kementerian NRES.
He explained that the government is paying serious attention to the issue of unauthorized and uncontrolled transboundary movement of plastic waste. The importation of plastic waste has also been tightened and is regulated by the Investment, Trade and Industry Ministry. Malaysia also fully supports the amendments to the Basel Convention, which came into effect in January 2021, as part of efforts to prevent unwanted plastic waste from being exported to developing countries. The reduction of the egg subsidy from 10 cent to 5 cent has enabled the government to save 135 million ringgit over the 3 months since May 1st, ahead of its full discontinuation on August 1st. Agriculture and Food Security Minister Datuk Sri Muhammad Sabu said the reduction and eventual removal of the egg subsidy is not expected to affect the stability of the egg supply, as the industry is currently showing positive trends, including a decline in poultry feed costs.
Bagi bulan Julai 2025, anggaran pengelolaan telur ayam sebanyak 1.75 bilion biji sebulan, manakala keperluan penggunaan domestik dianggarkan 1.06 bilion. Ini menunjukkan terdapat lebihan pengeluaran sebanyak 0.69 bilion biji telur.
Muhammad also said that the egg supply remains stable and reasonably priced, with his ministry and Domestic Trade and Cost of Living Ministry closely monitoring the situation in the market to prevent supply disruptions and profiteering that could burden consumers. The minister added that the retargeting of subsidies and removal of price controls on eggs will enable the government to reduce expenditure and reallocate funds to initiatives and programs that provide direct benefits to the people. The Labour Department has launched an investigation into the bus company linked to Monday's strike, involving bus drivers on the Johor Bahru-Singapore route, which caused major disruptions for thousands of cross-border commuters. Human Resources Minister Stephen Sim has also instructed the department to probe allegations of salary deductions involving the bus drivers, which are believed to have triggered the strike. Around 100 shuttle bus drivers reportedly went on strike, leaving thousands of Malaysian workers stranded on the causeway. The strike is believed to have been triggered by unexplained salary deductions and unpaid overtime by the company.
I want to give warning to this particular company and companies like this. Do not play with our Employment Act. We will not compromise. In fact, this is not the first time this company has a case.
Sim also stressed that all employers are required to comply with the Employment Act, particularly with regard to salary deductions. If salary deductions are made unlawfully, employers may be fined up to 50,000 ringgit for each offence. In a statement later, the Labour Department said 2 investigation papers have been opened into the company involved, while 32 other firms are also being investigated. Malaysia's inflation eased to 1.1% in June, the lowest since March 2021. The lower figure also reflects a 3.6% drop in the local producer price index recorded in May. According to the Department of Statistics Malaysia, DOSM, the food and beverages group, which contributes 29.8% to the consumer price index, rose by 2.1% in June 2025. The food away from home subgroup recorded an increase of 4.7% compared to 4.4% in May. However, the food at home category declined by 0.4%. Several groups also recorded the same rate of increase as the previous month, namely education, housing, water, electricity, gas and other fields, and insurance and financial services. Malaysia also recorded lower inflation in June compared to Vietnam, South Korea, Indonesia, and the Philippines. The government wants to secure Malaysia's status as a low-risk country under the European Union's deforestation rules, or EUDR. In a written parliamentary reply, Plantation and Commodities Minister Datuk Sri Johari Abdul Ghani said several strategies have been implemented to ensure its success. According to Johari, one of the key strategies is coordinating the implementation of the European Union Deforestation Regulation, EUDR, across multiple ministries and agencies. These include forest data management, enforcement, and sustainable forest governance. Johari added that his ministry is also working to ensure that Malaysia's agri-commodity products exported to the EU meet the bloc's regulatory requirements. This is done through the adoption of sustainable certification schemes, such as Malaysian Sustainable Palm Oil Certification Scheme, the Malaysian Timber Certification Scheme, and the Malaysian Sustainable Natural Rubber Guidelines.
Unlocking the future of business.
From industry evolutions to policy changes, we go beyond the headlines.
Deep insights, sharp analysis.
Understanding the forces driving tomorrow's economy.
Key financial insights that drive decisions.
This is Money Matters, every Saturday, 5 p.m.
Only on TV3 and stream now on Tonton.
Tengku Ampuan Rahimah Hospital catches fire. This and more local news after this breather.
Heard the News is a News Straits Times initiative to help you improve your English and stay updated on the latest happenings.
Just scan the QR code in the newspaper or on our website and have the news read to you.
Read along, learn proper pronunciation, and improve your general knowledge.
Leveling up is just a scan away.
Heard the news? Read with me.
peningnya. Kecil ke besar, besar ke kecil. Mestilah I nak yang besar.
Persoalannya, saiz apa yang puas?
Mestilah saiz 65 inci. Lagi besar, lagi layan.
Juara! Wow! Lagi layan tengok tonton dekat smart TV besar. RM9.90 je.
Lagi besar skrin, lagi puas stream. Layan tonton di smart TV, repeat sampai pagi.
Welcome back. Panic erupted at the Tunku Ampuan Rahimah Hospital, HTAR, in Klang, Selangor, when a fire broke out at the institution's red zone on Tuesday. The incident at around 5 p.m. saw hospital staff rushing to move wheelchair-bound patients and those on hospital beds out of the affected zone. State Fire and Rescue Department Assistant Director of Operations, Ahmad Mukhlis Mukhtar, said a team of 7 firefighters from the Andalas Fire and Rescue Station was immediately deployed to the hospital after the department was alerted to the incident at 5:13 p.m. He added that the fire only involved a socket switch inside the red zone ward and had been extinguished by hospital staff before rescuers arrived at the scene. Damage was estimated at just 1%, with no casualties reported. Meanwhile, all affected patients have been safely transferred to other wards within the hospital's main building, and treatment has resumed as normal. According to the hospital, precautionary and preventative measures have been taken to ensure patient safety and uninterrupted continuity of services. HTAR also continues to operate its emergency services for critical walk-in cases, while ambulance diversions to nearby hospitals are carried out on a needs basis. The 169 million ringgit forfeiture proceedings linked to former Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob are scheduled to be heard at the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court this October. Judge Suzana Hussain said the hearing date after the lawyers representing Ismail Sabri and his former political secretary Datuk Muhammad Anwar Muhammad Yunus informed the court that they need time to review and respond to the forfeiture application. Lawyer Datuk Amir Hamzah Arshad said the respondents have requested 3 weeks to file their affidavits. The court then directed the lawyers to submit their affidavits by August 13th, with the prosecution to respond by September 3rd. On July 7th, the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC, filed an application to forfeit cash in various local and foreign currencies belonging to Ismail Sabri. The application was made under Section 41, subsection 1 of the MACC Act, after the Commission was satisfied that the funds were owned by Ismail Sabri, but was kept by Anwar. According to the Commission, the funds were linked to an offence under Section 36, subsection 2 of the Act. On March 3rd, MACC Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki stated that Ismail Sabri is a suspect in a corruption and money laundering investigation, following the discovery of approximately 169 million ringgit in cash in a safe house during a raid carried out by the Commission. An apartment converted into a factory producing fake passports in Kuala Lumpur was raided by Immigration Department enforcement officers on Tuesday. The operation resulted in the seizure of hundreds of counterfeit passports, printing equipment, and the arrest of 2 Bangladeshi men in their 20s. The raid on the residence in Kepong was conducted following a month-long intelligence operation. Both suspects were found processing hundreds of counterfeit passports, including those from Bangladesh, India, Nepal, Pakistan, and Myanmar. Also seized were documents related to the Foreign Workers Medical Examination Monitoring Agency, FOMEMA, which foreign workers need to work legally in the country. It is understood that the syndicate charged 400 ringgit for each fake passport. The case is being investigated under the Immigration Act. Weepa makes second landfall in Vietnam. The details when Nightline returns.
Terbaru ditonton.
You ni tak habis lah dengan followers you tu.
Lah, kenapa pula? Selama ni tak kisah pun.
Kau betul ke nak kahwin dengan Abang Wasim ni?
Kak Ita nak misal dengan Abang Wasim. Ada syarat dia. Okey, name it. Kak Ita
kena dapatkan kebenaran dan mama dengan abah dia. Macam mana sekalipun, Kak Ita akan pastikan perkahwinan ini jadi.
Muat turun dan layan tonton sekarang. Semua favourite anda di sini. Selebriti drama sangat terhangat. Ada yang buat kita nangis. Ada yang buat kita geram satu Malaysia. Undi calon terhangat anda sekarang di www.tonton.com.my. Palang Anugerah Melodi Terhangat atau imbas kod QR berikut. Anugerah Melodi Terhangat, hangat bukan biasa-biasa.
News from the foreign front. Solo and 50 kota regencies in Indonesia's West Sumatra province have declared an emergency status for forest and land fires on Tuesday, following a surge in hotspots during the ongoing dry season. The West Sumatra Provincial Disaster Management Agency said forest and land fires have occurred in all 14 districts of Solo Regency. In 50 kota, most of the fire locations reportedly have slopes of 70 to 90 degrees, making firefighting efforts extremely challenging. The agency, however, said water bombing operations using helicopters had yet to be deployed to West Sumatra. Its efforts are focused on more critical fires in Riau and South Sumatra. Tropical storm Wipa made a second landfall in Vietnam on Tuesday after lashing China earlier, bringing torrential rain and strong winds as authorities rushed to evacuate low-lying areas and warned of possible floods and landslides. Vietnam's National Weather Agency said the storm came ashore in northern Vietnam around 10 a.m. local time in Hung Yen and Ninh Binh provinces, with sustained winds reaching up to 102 km per hour. Although no casualties were immediately reported there, damage assessments are still underway. In the Philippines, more than 80,000 people remain in emergency shelters following weekend floods and landslides that killed at least 3 people. Meanwhile, authorities in Thailand warned of possible 4-meter tides and flash floods through Thursday, with the meteorological department advising boats to stay ashore. In China, heavy rain in eastern province of Shandong killed at least 2 people and left 10 missing after half a year's worth of rain fell in 5 hours, drenching the Laiwu district in the city of Jinan. Greece on Tuesday introduced emergency measures to help workers cope with temperatures of up to 43 degrees Celsius in a heat wave due to last all week. Couriers, food delivery riders and builders in the wider area of the Greek capital Athens and other regions were among those ordered to pause work from midday until 5 p.m. due to high temperatures. Temperatures in Thessaloniki is also forecast to reach 40 degrees Celsius on Tuesday, with highs up to 43 degrees Celsius in central Greece. According to the National Weather Service, the heat wave is expected to continue until Sunday. Sri Lanka's police chief is set to be sacked after he was found guilty of heading a criminal network at an impeachment hearing. Speaker of Parliament Jagath Rikamarathen, in making the announcement on Tuesday, said a 3-member Parliament committee found Inspector General Deshabandhu Thanakun unfit to lead its 85,000-strong police force. An impeachment vote will be scheduled and is expected to pass in the 225-member Parliament, where President Anura Kumara Disanayake's government holds a 2/3 majority. Thanakun was appointed police chief in November 2023, despite Sri Lanka's highest court ruling that he had tortured a suspect in custody by rubbing menthol bomb on the victim's genitals. Thanakun would become the first head of police in the island's history to be impeached. Switching to sports, badminton, the 2025 China Open. The national shuttlers made a strong start at the Super 1000 event in China after advancing to the second round on Tuesday. National men's singles shuttler Leong Junhao broke his streak of 6 consecutive first-round exits at the BWF World Tour this year by advancing to the second round. The world number 26 delivered a strong performance, defeating world number 13 Kenta Nishimoto of Japan 21-16, 21-18. However, a tough second-round match awaits Junhao as he will meet world champion and current world number 1 Kunvalut Vititsarn of Thailand. Earlier, mixed doubles pair Chen Tangji, To Yi-wei opened their campaign in commanding fashion, dispatching American duo Presley Smith, Jenny Guy 22-20, 21-12 in the opening round. The world number 4 pair will next take on homesters Gao Jiashuan, Wu Mengying, who toppled another national pair, Hu Pengran, Cheng Su-yin. Joining in their footsteps was another mixed doubles pair, Wang Tianqi, Lim Chiu-sian, who had to battle for more than an hour before defeating Indian pair Rohan Kapoor, Shivani Ruthvika Gade 25-27, 21-16, 21-14. The world number 34 independent duo will face a daunting test against Chinese top seeds Feng Yanzhe, Wang Dongping in the next round. Turning to athletics, the 2025 Ryan-Ruhr World University Games. National sprint ace Muhammad Azim Fahmi breezed into the men's 100 meters semi-finals on Monday. Competing in the 7th heat of the first round under rainy and windy conditions, Azim stayed composed and crossed the line first in 10.57 seconds, ahead of South Korea's Joljin Nwamadi and Canada's Nicolas Dawas. The Hangzhou 2022 Asian Games bronze medalist was the only Malaysian to advance after teammate Alif Iman Muhammad Fahmi finished 5th in Heat 5 with a time of 11.09 seconds. The semi-final heats are scheduled to start at 2 a.m. Malaysian time Wednesday. And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we go, let's take a look at locals in Vienna cooling off in the Neue and Alte Donau, known as the New and Old Danube, which have become a popular swimming spot during the summer months. With that, I'm Liyana Hassanel. Thank you for watching and be well, Malaysia.